Hey guys, welcome again. Welcome again. Today's Tuesday, August 17th, 4:08 p.m. 3:08 p.m. Um, locally where I am in Panama, but for a lot of you it's 4:08, 8 minutes after the market has closed. So, what do you guys want to talk about today? Today was an ugly day. Ugly day. I sat on my hands all day. I didn't touch anything. I was looking at a couple of things, but unfortunately didn't hit the levels I wanted. So there was nothing for me to do today. So yeah. So one of the things I was looking at, let's say NAOV, it was a big performer yesterday. Look at this, ugly, ugly. Sort of nice open, boom, but then once it retested that $4 level, so it opened in the morning, bam, went up to 420, sort of came down, and it sort of grinded back up, and when it retested that $4 level, boom, huge sell-off, huge sell-off. I think I posted about it, yeah, right here. So, looks like she will continue to try to break through until it either gets it or it sells off. Unfortunately, we got the latter, and the stock sold off in a big way. So, yeah, not cool. What else? I was looking at Codex as well. We got a nice little surge this morning. I was looking at it over 1170, but it sort of went through, wasn't able to hold. And then just collapsed back down to that support level around 11. What else was I looking at? Oh yeah, dude, Bond. What a piece of garbage. BON. So, well, that's not true. That's not true. That's completely unfair of me. It's not a piece of garbage. It just gapped up very big and then pulled back in a big way also. This is a Chinese stock that does, let's see. They had a really nice earnings call this morning, actually, but yeah, the stock was unable to hold. Look at this. Revenues from fragrance compounds rose 133% year on year. Health supplements 340%. Bioactive food ingredients declined. Yeah, that's not good. But look at this. Gross profit increased by 32%. That's pretty good. Operating income rose. Their EPS had an increase. Nevertheless, the stock collapsed. 8 million share float, it had all the ingredients to take off. Small float, good earning call, big volume pre-market, you can see here, had big volume pre-market, or at least relative volume, big relative volume pre-market, but unfortunately unable to hold in any case. Yeah. Oh, and then the one other thing that I saw, EJH had a big spike right here. I think I posted on my Twitter when it was like 4. I wasn't in the position, but anyway, yeah. So it came up, down to VWAP, back up to that 425, and just sold off. Nutty looking chart on the daily. Look at this. It looks so wild. New IPO. It was second day trading. It hit a high of $81. Okay, $81. This was back in May, and then today it's trading at $4. That's unbelievable. I don't even know what to say. But yeah, so it had that nice intraday spike. The only way to catch something like this is with a scanner, guys. Like, there's just no way to catch this move. Like, there's no, a person wouldn't be able to alert you fast enough. Just a scanner, that you have it there, you see it, Then you pull up the chart, you like what you're seeing, and then you just sort of go for it. But yeah, and then the other big runner that I saw today, huge volume. This was actually, I think, the best stock for the day, for traders. Unless you're trading options, and then vaccine stocks were off the charts today. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't get in on any of them. Actually, I had to leave and run some errands around, I don't know, 10, 11 in the morning. So I wasn't really looking to open new positions. Overall, the markets looked shaky. There's just wild stuff going on in macroeconomic sense. It wasn't a day, it wasn't like a really nice day to be trading and opening positions and taking on risk, So kind of sat on my hands all day. But yeah, BNTX ripped the hell out of the gate and then just continued into infinity. NVAX, same thing. Boom, out the gate, then continued to trend higher. Moderna, same thing. Ripped out of the gate, touched VWAP, continuation. CVAC, I think it's the same thing. Yeah, rip out of the gate, VWAP, continuation. Are these all the same charts? No, but they're very similar. Okay, rip out of the gate, touch of VWAP, continuation. So yeah, that's sort of what I was looking at this morning. I don't know. This week I'm sort of in the theme of, vaccines, testing, PPE, possibly. No, let's leave it at that. PPE, possibly crypto. But yeah, overall, not my favorite type of market. It's I feel there's uncertainty. Jay Powell talked today as well. The president had that address yesterday, which I personally didn't really love. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm not here to get into politics, but all those things, just kind of set me in the mood that, hey, I'm not in the mood to take on a lot of risk or anything like that. So sort of sat on my hands for that reason. All right, so, look at this. Tilray is moving after hours. What's going on here? Let's see. Boom, look at that. Tilray, you guys can't even see me. So, all right, Tilray acquires let's see what's going on. So Tilray acquires majority position in amended MedMen convertible notes. Okay. We have no details. Okay, so basically, MedMen sold these warrants to certain funds. Oh my gosh, sounds mysterious. With Gotham Green Partners LLC, and then those were acquired by Tilray now. And I guess if they exercise those warrants, when are they due? 2028. Okay, so they have a long time. Yeah, that would give them or set them in the path for a significant equity position. Okay, I don't know MedMen, but hey, something interesting here that would warrant further research. The stock price is certainly responding in a positive way. So yeah, there you go, Tilray. What else is moving? CELU. Oh, look who's moving. Jamia. Oh my gosh, this was one of my darlings for a long time. For the beginning of the year, it was trading like a beast. Look at that. Big sell-off. Why is it moving now? There's no news out. Option alerts. January 21, 35 call sweep, so very bullish. Near the ask, bullish. Okay, how many? Ask versus near the ask. Okay, so 443. $1. That's That's $45,000 purchase. Eh, not too convincing. Let's see, CELU. It's moving also. Oh, look at this. It's not moving. It just had a big gap. Why? No news. Okay, this was a single purchaser, probably. What else is moving? Let's see. mRNS. Is there news? Yep. Marinus Pharmaceuticals reports top line phase 2 open label results. Oh my gosh, they received FDA orphan drug designation for tuberous sclerosis. I don't know what that is, but okay, so top line phase 2 data, and then they get orphan drug designation. Yeah, that is definitely very interesting. Chart is beating down, a lot of room to the upside. First target we have is around $15, which would be the 200 MA. So yeah, we do have upside. There's definitely an investor's market for this type of news. So I wouldn't be surprised for this to continue up and then continue up in pre-market and then into tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see. Let's see if we can interpret this quickly. So it showed a median 16.6 reduction in 28-day seizure frequency. Okay. Not huge, but okay, I'll take it. Okay, so another little catalyst for the enrollment right around Q4 for the phase 3. This is good, guys. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has granted orphan drug designation. Orphan drug designation basically means that you're developing a drug for a disease or a condition that doesn't have a lot of treatments available, and so for a pharmaceutical company to undergo, say, all those research, because there's not a ton of data or a ton of data that works out there, it's harder for them to develop the treatments and the drugs, and I guess, they have to spend more money. And so the FDA, in order to compensate for these difficulties, they have this way of assigning an orphan drug designation that basically gives them perks. Now, let's go through, let's just quickly see what some of those are, but I'm sure those are like, they'll have exclusivity for a certain amount of time. Let's see. Where are the benefits? Okay, so tracks credits of 50% and eligibility for market exclusivity for 7 years. All right, so when somebody comes out with a drug, I'll come back to this because there's something moving here as well. I want to bring your attention to PPSI. We'll get back to Marinas. PPSI. Wow, boom. What is going on? No idea what's going on. We have no news, but this thing is moving on heavy volume, okay? So it's almost like somebody knows something. Do they have earnings coming up soon or something? No. Okay. Not sure why it's moving. Let's see if Benzinga knows. Do you know Benzinga why they're moving? Quarterly report form. Okay, no. They don't know either. Okay, this is very interesting. This is just moving on volume, on big volume. Big relative volume, I should say. So not even big relative volume because it's only 174,000 shares. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to Marinas. Okay, coming down. You know, sometimes these things just don't stick. Sometimes they do. You know, I guess it depends on the day, on the mood of the investors. But anyway, yeah. So orphan drug designation. So when you have a drug that you invested all these resources to develop and then to bring to market, and then it goes to market. You know, if somebody is able to make a generic copy, let's say of your treatment, you know, they're gonna cut into your market share. So, you know, in order to protect, let's say, a company like this that is developing a treatment where, you know, there's no data, and not too many or none treatments available for that condition or whatever, you know, the FDA does this designation in order to protect them and to incentivize, you know, that companies develop new treatments, you know, for conditions that are underserved. Okay, so that's basically what it is. It's a motivation for these companies. You know, it's incentives from the FDA for these companies, you know, to go ahead and target those underserved conditions, communities, patients, or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, VRPX moving also. Look at this. Big runner today, and it's continuing its strength into after hours. They had some news this morning at 8 o'clock, and they sort of caught late in the day. Actually, let me mention something interesting. So sometimes, you know, when you have like really good news and you have huge gaps up, you know, you're gonna have profit taking. So think about it. You know, if you bought whatever, let's say at $10, and then the thing gaps up to 15, and you're up 50% like in an instant, there's a lot of people that are just gonna go ahead and take the profits. You know, and that causes a lot of selling pressure. And then unless, you know, the buying pressure is able to overturn, you know, all that selling pressure of the guys that, you know, bought days before or weeks or months before, and now that everybody's selling like right at open, you know, sometimes that pressure can be so big on the downside that the stock is not able to recover and you know, make a positive trend intraday. And so you'll have like great news, excellent news, big gaps up, and then, you know, the stock is just like falling down, and that's the reason for it. In this case, however, the news was released at 8 in the morning, and so, you know, it took a while for the market to catch up. And as you can see, you know, only this little green candle here with this amount of volume is what was able to trade. So the gap up really was not very big in comparison to the quality of the news. Okay, and so what that will cause is that people start buying intraday. So since it's not a big gap up, there's no selling pressure, so the buying pressure sort of builds, and it creates this insane runs, where you had the stock close up 265% for the day, which is just absurd. And now look at it, it's continuing into after hours. And now tomorrow, you know, if this continues to go up, when it opens, imagine all these people that bought here and even the people that have here, you know, when it opens, you know, some of them are going to take profit. So it's like in an instant, you know, you get all this selling pressure, whereas here you had gradual buying pressure building up throughout the entire day. And, you know, you don't have that like instant selling pressure to counter that effect. And yeah, this is what you get, you know, a 265% run. So yeah, what else is going on? Tilray, Pola. Okay, this is a stock that I like. Pola. Did they have earnings? No. Not sure what's going on there. Who else is moving? Verb Tech. I was playing that stock. a lot a couple of weeks ago, or like a month ago. Yeah. It's amazing, you know. You'll have it run up in a couple of days from, you know, $1 to 4, and then run down in a couple of days as well, back down to 171. So look at that, and then boom, straight into the 200 MA. It's amazing how these levels hold. You know, it's just like free falling, and then bam, it bounces right on that level. Whatever. Yeah, so we had another interesting news this morning on FLGC. I think they had an acquisition. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, so they acquired a company Vessel to apparently go into the luxury cannabis market. I don't know what that is. But yeah, so they did that for 30 million. I think I saw this morning that they had like $9 million in revenue or something like that for the year. Oh no, 6.2 million. So they paid 30 million in cash and stock for a company that posted in the last 12-month revenues of 6.2. So they paid, what is it? A 4.8 multiple of sales. I don't know if that's good or bad for this industry. It seems a little high, but I couldn't say. Yeah, so we're not getting too many movers after hours today. Overall, it was a choppy day. It was like a weekday. I don't know. The markets feel a little bit slushy right now. Just in general, I can't quite put my finger on it, but that's kind of the sense that I'm getting. Oh, LMFAA. That was one that we saw yesterday when we were doing this recap. Remember, we saw it. Boom. We saw it like over here. I think when it was like a 520 or something like that. And then look, after we finished, whatever, it hit a high of 630. That's pretty impressive. And then again, you see, so big gap up. All these people would have been selling here at $5. Now, so if you're an owner of this at 4, and this thing gaps up at 5, you know, there's a big chance that, hey, you're gonna sell your shares and take your profits, which causes this downward pressure. Okay. But, you know, consequently, let's say like this wouldn't have, they wouldn't have released news after hours, and they would have released it here at 8 in the morning. You know, all these people that are buying here because of that news would have been buying here in the morning, and all these people that are selling in the morning wouldn't have been selling because the price would have been down here somewhere. Okay, and then it would have been like a more gradual, let's say, sort of build up rather than like, you know, big chunks or big pressures like coming in an instant. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. VRPX is moving, guys. This is the only stock for today. There's nothing else to be looking at, in my opinion. All traders, all day traders, retail communities, they're talking about this stock right now, and for the whole day as well. So this is something that we would be looking at. Anyway, let's see if we got the market recap already. If we can get it. Let me see. My brother's a beast, man. He pumps these out like, wow, it's amazing. I couldn't write like that. Okay, we're in. We got it, guys. So let's just go over the macroeconomic, the events for the day, individual highlights, and then we can call it a wrap. So stocks fell firmly on Tuesday for sure, with the S&P and Dow Jones retreating from record levels yesterday amid a mixed batch of earnings results from major retailers and new economic data regarding retail sales. Looking ahead, market participants are waiting to hear from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, who is scheduled to speak later this week. Participants will be waiting to see if there's any new information regarding a potential taper timeline. So basically, with that tapered timeline, what he's referring to is tapering the, let's say, the stimulus. Okay, so the equity purchasing um, and basically the injection of all this capital into the economy. Okay. Uh, yeah, so they can do this by increasing interest rates, simply just lowering the asset purchase program or slowing it down or whatever. But yeah, so let's continue. So shares of Dow component Walmart. Shares of Dow component. Shares of Walmart fell even after the big box retailer posted second quarter results that blew past estimates and raised its full year guidance. Let's take a look at Walmart quickly. This is such a solid company, guys. Oh my God, look where it is. It's up here. Awesome. I mean, did they fall? They fell from highs, yeah. But yeah. Also, I don't know if he's gonna mention it here. I think Walmart. Yeah, Walmart. I saw somewhere that Walmart accepting crypto. Is that correct? Okay, so they were on the hunt for a new hire in the crypto space. That's what it was. Anyway, let's continue. So, stimulus check spending, strong grocery demand, and e-commerce sales help push U.S. comparable sales, excluding gas, by up by 5.5%, topping estimates, but still slowing from last year's 9.9 surge. And this is expected, guys, because if you're coming from basically zero or from a complete stop, which was the case in March 2020, anything that you do, even if it's a little, it's going to be a big jump in comparison to that period. Okay, so of course, that 9.9 surge was something that would have been expected. Especially with all the stimulus and the easing that was put in place back in March. Home Depot missed on comparable sales for the quarter, with these rising 4.5%, way below consensus estimates of a 5.5% increase. Okay, so at least they grew. The market is so funny sometimes. Like you'll have on Friday, okay, so let's take a crypto mining company, for example. Like on Friday, you'll have, let's say, Bitcoin trading, at $35,000, and it was at 30,000 on Thursday, let's say. So 30, and then on Friday, it goes to 35. Crypto stocks just take off, because crypto is rising from Thursday to Friday. All Friday they trade strongly. The market closes on Friday. Then crypto goes on over the weekend to reach a high of $45,000 Bitcoin, something like that. And then on Monday it comes down to 40, and then you see crypto stocks just plummet. Like, crypto is coming down, Bitcoin is coming down. But in reality, on Monday, at 40,000, it's still higher than on Friday at 35. But it's just the perception of the market, and things will sell off, in scenarios like that. It's, I don't know. It's a weird dynamic, but it is what it is, and we must be aware of it. Anyway, okay, so according to the Department of Commerce, for the month of July, retail sales in the U.S. fell 1.1%, much higher than the drop of 0.3% expected, and below the 0.7% increase in June, a sign that economic activity is slowing down, likely due to the surge in the coronavirus Delta variant and government stimulus drying up. That makes sense. Consumer spending makes up nearly 70% of U.S. GDP, so market participants closely track these reports. China released economic data for July that showed growth rates slowed down dramatically as the world's second largest economy battles with summer flooding, resurgence of the coronavirus. Industrial production, okay, a gauge of activity in the manufacturing, mining, and utility sector, grew by 6.4% year on year in July, a sharp deceleration from the 8.3% rise in June. Okay, yeah, man, China has been taking a beating in the last couple of weeks. Retail sales, a key measurement of consumer sentiment in the world's most populous nation, grew by 8.5% in July, way below the 12.1 increase in June and missing the expectations by economists of 11.5%. Yeah, yeah, guys. Unfortunately, China stocks, there's been, they've been taking a beating. I was just looking at Alibaba earlier today. Look at this. This is one ugly, ugly chart. It just breaks my heart to see it, such a cool company. But yeah, uptrending beautifully for the last years or whatever. Big surge, and look at this, it's dropped basically to the March 2020 levels. That's mind blowing. That's mind blowing. And this all has to do with or not all, but a lot of it has to do with regulatory uncertainty, the government cracking down on their operations, infringing on, how they store data, what they're able to see, stuff like that, okay? And then just overall uncertainty, from the market. And that's what you get. See, Roku's not that bad. I mean, it pulled back into a 200 MA, but it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. But yeah, man, Baba, which is, when you think of Chinese company, like iconic Chinese company, you think of Baba. It's sort of like you say, okay, so what's the most iconic company in the US? You think Apple, you think Amazon, you think Microsoft. Well, you say China, you think Alibaba. And yeah, it's a little bit heartbreaking to see this, but anyway. So looking ahead, let's see. So looking ahead, market participants are set to receive the Federal Open Market Committee's July meeting minutes on Wednesday, offering more context around how much more amenable central bank officials have become to the notion of tapering their crisis-era asset purchases as the economic recovery takes place. So, I apologize for being redundant, but there's some of you out there who want to know. But when what this means is, when the economy tanked in March 2020 due to the coronavirus, basically the economy came to a stop. Lockdowns were put in place, and so in order to stimulate the economy, the Federal Reserve and other regulators around the world, other central banks, started to purchase assets in public companies. So literally just injecting money into the market. Okay, a lot of these assets that they were buying were these big banks and these big funds, with the idea that they would filter, or that the money would drip into the economy. And there was a lot of other types of QEing as well, like the small business loans, the Payment Protection Act, or just the business loans, the stimulus checks and stuff like that. But in a big chunk, the stimulus was done by buying, just public assets, or buying assets of public companies. And so as the economy starts to recover, the stimulus that they're injecting into the market needs to, sort of taper down or come down as the economy recovers and goes back to normal, so they can, continue to sustain themselves, and for, the regulators to essentially, keep inflation in check. Because if they continue to buy, the economy continues to grow, inflation is going to kick in. So that's, the sort of balance that we're talking about here. So as the economic recovery takes place, they're exploring the notion of tapering their crisis era asset purchases. That's basically what that means. And so these minutes, are going to offer some insight into when, this tapering could begin to happen or begin to have an effect into the market. Yeah, so this is just a personal note from my brother. As I've said as he said in the past, he wouldn't be surprised if there's more discussion about a potential timeline to begin tapering quantitative easing, I guess. Though I remain unconcerned. While the markets may react negatively, the real test will be in 2022 when discussions of raising the interest rates are brought to the table. And I agree with this. 100%. It's been shown historically that markets do not like rising interest rates. Not necessarily that they do not like high interest rates, okay? They do not like rising interest rates, okay? So as interest rates rise, markets would pull back, okay? Okay, so just individual highlights. I'm gonna go through these as bullet points. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen doubled down on her support of President Joe Biden's plans to increase investment in physical and human infrastructure. Okay, good. Microsoft is investing in software startup Rubrik Inc., and the two companies will combine on products that will help customers hit by ransomware recover their critical data without paying hackers. Okay. Cybersecurity, man, one of those big trends coming up, okay? Or not coming up, one of those big trends already in place. Let me put it like that. Chinese government is at it again in their latest move. Chinese tech companies lost roughly a combined $50 billion in market cap today. Oh my God. After the government proposed a sweeping new rules on how companies collect and use user data. Alibaba is now at the lowest prices since late 2019. Yeah. The world's largest non-financial companies had a record $6.85 trillion in cash on their balance sheets as of the end of the second quarter, according to data from S&P Global Ratings. Oh my gosh. And this goes in hand. Remember yesterday, I think when we were going over the market recap, there was some statistic about, I think it was somebody from Goldman Sachs saying that in their 22-year history, collecting data on earnings, they've never seen such a high percentage of beats or surprises to analyst expectations. I think that was the data point, And now you're telling me non-financial companies had a record cash on their balance sheet. This just tells me that it's really time to begin to taper that quantitative easing, and that there's a big possibility that the quantitative easing sort of overshot, in terms of giving strength to these big companies and institutions. So anyway, clarification note: banks and other financial firms are usually excluded from corporate cash lists because they are required to hold a lot of money in cash due to the nature of their daily business operation. Yeah, okay, so this does not include banks. All right, so Accenture, target raised by JP Morgan from 308 to 364. Nice raise. Autodesk, Beast Company, from 342 to 370. Nice raise there. Equifax, target raised by Barclays from 285 to 330 at overweight. Stock currently at 262. This is a big one too, man. I think in percentage terms is the biggest one so far that we've gone over. Fidelity National Information Services, target raised by JP Morgan from 153 to 160. Not a huge raise. I would probably ignore this. Fiserv, whatever you said. Target raised by JP Morgan from 142 to 145. Yeah, not super. I would probably ignore this as well. Lululemon, target raised by B. Riley from 370 to 466. Wow, that's a huge upgrade. And this is a beast of a stock. It just does not stop. Everybody loves it. You know, the market loves the stock. The people love their products. So this is a really good one. This is a really good race. Very bullish on Lululemon. MasterCard target raised by JP Morgan from 427 to 430. Stock currently around 365. Yeah, not a huge raise. But it's a huge, you know, there's a huge upside from their target to the current stock price. So, yeah, something to keep in mind. You know, why they would put it so high. It would be very interesting to see, you know, what these guys are looking at. And it's a serious analyst. Okay, so it's JP Morgan. And then Visa target raised by JP Morgan again from 242 to 267. Stock currently around 235, so not super huge, but you know, yeah, this is a more notable one than this one. But anyway, all right, guys. Yeah, let's just see what's been moving in the time that we've been going over the recap, and then we can call it a wrap. So yeah, VRPX, oh my God, does not stop. Look at that, 32% up for after hours. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Yeah, this is definitely gonna have a big, I mean, if it opens somewhere close to these levels, you would definitely expect a pullback tomorrow. Definitely, 100% at open, you know. It could like just drop and then continue, I don't know, but at the very least, you know, I would expect a drop at open if it, you know, remains at these sort of levels. And yeah, man, still very decent volume here after hours. So very notable, very impressed. I'm very impressed with this one. What else is moving? PPSI, I think we went over that one. Yeah, so VRPX, wow, I mean, 6.1 million volume traded in after hours so far. That's big, guys. Definitely notable. Definitely worth of your attention. I don't know if to the downside or to the downside. We don't know if to the downside or to the upside. We don't know yet. I guess we can see that tomorrow. At this point, I wouldn't touch it, especially here after hours, because it can move really quickly given, you know, the lower volume. But yeah, I wouldn't touch it at this point. What else is trading big volume? Let's see. GLG 4.3. What is GLG and why is it moving? So real penny stock, absolutely collapsed chart. Oh my gosh. Yeah, big sell-off from the beginning of the year, non-stop. Okay, big sell-off. So they had earnings. Let's see. Luxurious car leasing business. Okay, they sold the luxurious car leasing business. Okay, this is what we want to see. Total revenue was 59 million. An increase of 2,981% from 1.94. So yeah, so this is what we were talking about, you know. A year ago, they had 1.94 million revenues. They were, you know, basically economies all over the world were shut down. So, you know, anything, you know, any slight increase, you know, in activities could, you know, represent a big percentage increase from those levels, okay? Because, like, for example, you know, if you had 0 revenues and then, you know, you sell $10, in terms of percentage-wise, that's immense. And then let's say next quarter you sell $100, that's a, you know, a 1,000 increase. But normally, let's say before the pandemic, you were selling $200. So maybe $100 in absolute terms is not huge, but you know, it's a huge increase from where you're coming when the economies were shut down, if that makes sense, okay? So you have to take this with a grain of salt and go and take a look at these absolute numbers and see how they're doing, okay? Net income, I mean, I'm not going to go do that right now, but that's what I would do if I was interested in this company. Net income, so they're producing net income. Look at this. Wow. So net income is a 360K versus a $5.17 million loss in the same quarter last year. So again, you know, if the company is halted, economies are stopped, that's the effect it's gonna have. But yeah, GLG, is there anything else here notable? Let's see. X-Air, what is this? I don't know what this is, but it's sort of gapped up. This is probably one big purchaser. I don't know this company. But, you know, it's trading already 500K shares. It's got a price of $8. That's very decent volume after hours for a share of, for a stock of $8. Yeah, I don't see anything else. PPSI is moving, but the volume's not super convincing. It could trend. It could trend. It definitely could. But there's no news. Volume's not super convincing. Don't love it. GLG. Again. Wow, yeah, moving. Penny stock. Moving from the bottom. Yep. Oh, that's the one we just took a look at. Okay, there's something. No. Yeah. Yeah, guys. Oh, look who's moving. XELA. Not moving, but it's trading big volume here after hours. No, not big volume. Never mind. Sorry. I was looking at the wrong column. Completely disregard what I just said. Yeah, guys. VRPX is the only interesting thing right now. And I just want to bring your attention to this little stock here. ALF, Alfie Technologies. Is that what it's called? Alfie Inc. Alfie Inc. Yeah, traded very nicely today. Going up here on after hours. Worth watching tomorrow for continuation. It's reclaiming the 50 MA. So that's a key level. And then you see we had some chop here. So it'll be interesting to see tomorrow if you know, she can get momentum and continue, or if she's gonna be dragged down here by this choppiness, okay? Or if it's just gonna, you know, come back down after the test of the 50 MA, which could also happen. But this one is one that I would look at for tomorrow, definitely. I've played this before, and this one moves fast and a lot. See, Alf, yeah, 14 million shares. It's got a good flow to really move if it gets volume behind it. But yeah, guys, that's sort of what I would be looking at tomorrow. Tilray, VRPX, ALF, and see what's going on. All right, guys. Yeah, that's it for me today. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.